Had another rough conversation with the voices in your head. They said that love has shut the door on you, and you'd be better off instead. Girl, don't you listen? Your time is gonna come. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. Yeah. So when you gonna let somebody in? It's a classic situation where you don't know how to feel. So you go it alone, you turn off the phone when the struggle gets too real. Yeah. Girl, you better listen. It's time to make a change. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. So when you gonna let somebody in? Yeah, let 'em in. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared.
All right, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Happy Friday afternoon, broadcasting from the B-Level Entertainment Studios. I'm your host, B-Level, and today, every Friday at 12 noon, we do Straight Talk No Chaser, where it's story time about different things that are going on in the world, in my life, and it's a story time moment. We do this every Friday. Before we get into our story time today, I do need to tell you that UTB is looking for a female co-host. Okay, we're looking for someone to join one of Arkansas's leading podcasts and join the crew. I have a lot of great co-hosts like Tristan Hobbs, Candy Webb, Anthony P. And I also have a dope news girl by the name of Jayla Jefferson. My team is so awesome, but I am looking for a female to join our co-host. There's a lot of testosterone in our studio on Sundays, and so I'm looking for another female to join the crew. If you're interested in joining the crew, all you have to do is send an email to utbpodcastlr@gmail.com. Again, utbpodcastlr@gmail.com. Let me say that email address a little bit slower. utbpodcastlr@gmail.com. Or you can inbox anybody on your crew and tell them why you think you got what it takes to join the crew and why we should pick you. And someone will get in contact with you. Now, the reason why I started this story time is so I could give you a little bit more of B-Level's life, my opinion on a lot of things. Friday is my time with you one-on-one to tell you about my opinion. I'm also able to share a lot of my life on Friday. So today I'm upset. I'm upset. I'm really, really upset. And I titled this conversation is it's hard to do. Sometimes it's hard to do business with our people, with Black businesses. It's very hard sometimes to do business with our own kind. And I struggle because Tam and I, who is a really good, consultant and a friend of the podcast, she always tried to do everything she do with Black businesses. Black businesses is the hub of our community. I do believe that I should spend money when I can with my own kind. It is so hard for Black businesses to stay in business. I've owned several Black businesses. I know how hard it is to stay in business. So I really do try very hard to patronize my own. I try to spend money in my community spend money with people that looks like me, with our black and brown community. Um, but I will say sometimes it's really, really, really hard. If I am going to buy a car, I try to shop with my people. If I can get a better deal with the other race, I'm gonna by all means go and get the better deal. But if the other race has a car and a black person has a car and it's in the same shape, quality, and they're both equal and they're priced right, I'm gonna obviously spend with my kind. If I could get the same product, even all of the jobs that I've had, I've hired a lot of people. My preference is if I interview somebody who is another race and I interview a black person, if they're both equally qualified, I'm going to hire the black person. If I interview a male and I interview a female, if they are both equally qualified, I'm going to naturally hire the female. Okay, I'm going to always go for the minority. But today I'm upset. I'm bothered. I feel like me trying to patronize this black business, and I'm going to get into as much as I possibly can without sharing who this black business is. And I'm not going to share the name of who the black business is because one, I'm upset, right? And I try to not do a lot of things when I'm mad. But two, I also don't want to ruin a black business. And even though I'm going to tell you about a situation, even though I feel like I was done wrong as a customer, I'm not ready to just right yet ruin and talk about this experience to the point where I tell you who this is and maybe ruin this black business because although they have done wrong business to me, don't mean like they can't do great business for you. And I also hold this platform to be a responsible broadcaster. And even though I share my feelings with you guys, I also want to be responsible with this broadcast. But I am upset, and I do get mad. And so part of Fridays is about letting you know, even when I'm pissed off and I'm mad. And so I'm pissed off. So let me just paint the picture of what happened. I have been doing business with this particular business, okay, for over 7, 8, maybe 9 years. Okay, I need to give you the information. Okay, I've probably spent about I looked at my Cash App and all of the times that I've patronized this business, and my Cash App says that I've spent $3,200 with this business. Now, there has also been times that I've paid cash. Okay, and so I don't have those receipts, but I have a Cash App receipt that says that I've done business with this business, this small business owner. And I've spent 31, I think it said, let's see what the exact amount is, because I want to be the exact amount was $3,162. And so last week I decided to patronize this business again. Keep in mind, I've been doing business for over 7, 8 years. I've ordered the same product multiple times with this business because I need to, it's been the same product. But I always check with the business because I know prices fluctuate. So I text this business owner last week and I said, hey, I need to reorder this product. And my wording was, and this is where we kind of got sideways because when I ordered it, I always check because I know that prices change. And I said, I needed to order something. And I specifically asked, and this person, the owner, referred to this text. I specifically asked for the same thing that I previously ordered from this person in this business. And so this person sent the amount of it. I cashed app it. I paid in advance, which I always do. Before I get the product, I'm assuming that this person makes me pay in advance and it's paid in full. I don't put a deposit down. A lot of businesses, you put a deposit down, and then once you get it and make sure that the product is secure in what you ordered, you give them the balance of it. But this business owner have always made me pay up front. I've never had any problems because up until now, I've done great business with them. I pay this person in advance. It takes 2 or 3 days. I meet up to get the product. When I pick up the product, I meet them at a location. The product is in a box. I put it in my vehicle. When I get home, you know, during the day when I get home, I take it out and I notice that the product that I've ordered multiple times, the same product, and it's always the same. It's always exactly the same. I notice that the quality of the product is different. This person used a different brand than I've gotten in the past. Immediately, it was a lower, way lower in quality brand. And I'm real big on quality. Like, I'm just big on quality. I want, if I pay for something and I do business with you, I assume that the quality every time I patronize you is going to be the same. I expect if I do some business with you on in January and I come back to buy this same product again, I expect the same quality. I don't expect that your quality is going to go down. And if your quality is going to go down and if it's changed, I expect to be told when I reach back out to you, hey, it's a little bit different than you bought before. I just expect to be able to be told that it is a different quality. Well, when I get home and I notice that this is it's a really quality below the standard that I've ever bought before and below the standard that I could be, happy with. So I text the business owner and I said, listen, I don't want this quality. This is not the quality that I bought in the past. I ask you the costs, and I said specifically in the text that I want you to do the same product that you've done before, which means quality, which means all of the things. It may be a different price, but I expect the same quality. For an example, I've owned many of clubs. If someone come in my nightclub and they ask for um, a top shelf tequila sunrise, okay, or they just ask for tequila sunrise. Let's just be because I want to be fair to this business. They ask for tequila sunrise, and every time someone comes and order tequila sunrise, I use absolute vodka. If I change my product to not use the absolute vodka, I think if somebody is expecting a product, if somebody come up tonight and they order a tequila sunrise and I put absolute vodka, when they come back to the bar, I should use the same absolute vodka. And if I've run out of absolute vodka, I should tell the customer I don't have any more absolute vodka. Can I use Kettle One vodka and get their approval before I pour a drink? And if I don't do that, if I just assume that the customer is okay with it, and I pour Kettle One vodka and I give it to them, and they tell me, "Hey, this doesn't taste right. This is not like the vodka that I got before the visit before." I'm going to say, my bad. I should have informed you that I used a different vodka. So let me make this drink again for you. Let me make it because it's you got a different brand, you got a different vodka. Let me make it. And I'm not going to make you pay for me not telling you that the vodka is different. I'm not going to make you pay for that. I'm just going to make the vodka. So I asked the business owner, I said, hey, I don't like this quality that I got. It's not the same quality. Can you make it over to the same? Like, I don't want this. This is not the quality that I'm used to. And the person said, well, I can make it over, but you got to pay for it. And I'm thinking, it initially pissed me off because I'm like, I would have expected this person to say, if it's a small business and maybe they can't afford to order the product, and we're not talking about a big ticket item, right? Because I need to give you some content. The ticket item that we're talking about is $30. It's out the door, the commission and everything. It's $30. And so what this person says is, it's kind of not, the temperature of the text was kind of like, it's not my fault. Like, I'll make it over for you, but you're gonna have to pay for it. And it made me mad because, one, I've done 7 years of business with you. So I'm taking all of the things that I would consider if I was in that person's shoes. If I was the business owner and somebody was spending money with me and they spent over $3,000. $3,000 is not a lot of money, but it's good. It's good money to spend with a small business. I would have considered, hey, obviously this customer thought that they was going to get this specific quality. They didn't. Case in point, my drink analogy. Because I'm a good business owner, I'm going to think, well, you know what? We're only talking about a $30 out of pocket expense. It's not like this thing that we were talking about was $200, and it was three of them that I was not satisfied with. Okay, I bought six things from this person at a maximum of $30 per product, and I bought three of them. So I was asking this person to redo three items for me to the same quality that I've purchased before. And I expected them to do it for free. I expected them to do it for free, but here's the deal. I probably would have accepted them saying, well, let's meet halfway, or let me do something, even though I expected good businesses. If you buy a product and you spend money with somebody and you spend it, you expect that same product. So I really did expect them to repair it to my expectations, because I've spent money with you and I've bought this specific item and I've got this brand, and you failed to give me the same brand. But I probably would have been opening to just giving a discount. But this person, the tone of the text was kind of like, I can do it, but you're going to pay for it. And that person didn't say, I'll do it at a discount. Or I probably would have been like, okay, I don't feel like that's right. I certainly would have shared my opinion that I didn't think it was right. But I probably would have been cool with that at first. And so I said, well, I said, and I want to be specific. So I want to go back to how I approached it. They said that, and then I said, I sent the amount of money, Cash App, and I said, listen, I think this is vast business. I've spent over $3,000 with you. I previously stated that I wanted the same quality. And I said, you're going to make me pay for it again? And that's what I asked the person. And then they replied and said, when I went to get the product to make for you, I noticed that the place that I normally buy it didn't have your specific brand. So, and the brand that you wanted costs more. Okay. So they, in all fairness, they said, I went to pick up your product to make it for you, but the store that I purchased the product from so that I could put my fluff on it was out of it. So I made it to get another brand, and I didn't charge you as much. Makes sense. But I said, but is that my fault that you went to pick up the brand that I wanted? I felt like you should have said, hey, they don't normally have this brand, but I can get this brand and it'll cost you less. And I don't know how they do business, but if I just would have assumed that I would have been notified that the brand that I particularly buy is not the same, before you purchase it, and do whatever you have to do and give me the finished product, which I'm looking at the quality and I don't like it. So we go back and forth, exchanging text messages, and the more times I text, the more upset I'm getting. Right? I mean, the more pissed off I'm getting, and this person is, I'm thinking, man, I should have the rapport for you, that as much money as I spend with you, and we're talking about at the max, we're talking about out of pocket expense, maybe $90. Okay, at the max. I've spent $3,200 with you, but at the max, in order to get something right to my liking, it would be $90. Well, I'm not, and I do need to give you the whole context. We're talking $90. And when people say it ain't about the money, people say when they get mad, hell yeah, it's about the money. It is about the money, because you want to get what you pay for. So it was about the money to me, right? I mean, I'd say, I've spent $90 with this person over 3,100 times. So I've spent enough money, but yeah, it wasn't the way they handled it and handled me. As I responding more, I kept responding, I started to get madder and madder. And so at the end of, I'm starting to get frustrated. And then, that person came back and said, in all fairness, I'll do it, but I'm not going to eat it all, which was at this point in time, I'm pissed off and I'm mad. You know what I mean? And I felt like that should have been an upfront conversation. And maybe that's what that person was thinking, but they didn't share that with me. Maybe they were thinking at the beginning, I'll eat some of it, but I expect you to eat some of it. Maybe that was their thinking before, but they didn't say it. And truthfully, I really felt like they should have did it, because they did not tell me that it was a different quality. So I feel like they should have done it for free. They shouldn't make me pay because I've ordered something for them of a certain quality and you changed qualities and then you didn't inform me. So I thought when I made a repeat purchase that it would be the same quality. So I didn't think I needed to pay for that. So I got so mad. And let me just say this: I do have respect um, for this person's business, right? And that's one of the reasons why I've done business with them so long. But I was pissed off, and I understand sometimes how people can say, and I've been in this situation. It's really hard to do business with some of our kind, some of our people that don't make up their mess ups, don't right their wrongs. And I think that's a cultural thing a lot of times that people don't do good business. And I'll say this because I know Tam will get mad at me all the time. I think there are also other businesses, other race that have businesses that don't do good business. So this is just not a black thing. This is not just our cultural thing, right? But I do know that there's a bad stigmatism, or a bad saying that sometimes it's hard to, and so that's why I'm not saying the name, because obviously I'm mad, I'm upset. But I do want to let you into my life. When I get pissed off, I get mad. And so I ended the conversation with, and here's where I felt like I did a really good job. I said, listen, my last text to this person was, I'm upset at you. I want to make sure I say it right. And I don't want to, I said, I'm upset with you and I'm disappointed, but I don't like making decisions while I'm upset. So let's resume this conversation tomorrow after we've both slept on it. Fair enough. And then this person texts back and say, it's okay to be upset with me. I understand and respect that you prefer to pause this conversation until tomorrow. But I needed to do this because I needed to get this off my chest, right? I'm really pissed off, but I'm still trying to be responsible and respect their business, because even though we got sideways on this business deal, I do think that this person still has a great business. I just don't like. I think the way they treated me was wrong. But just because this person has gotten into every other time that I've dealt with them, it's been on an up and up. So that's why I named it. It's hard to do business with our people. That's why I'm frustrated. That's why I'm talking about it. A big part of this platform, and the reason why I got this platform, is to have a voice for the voiceless and to inform and to entertain. And so hopefully, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it when I wake up tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna want to continue to do business with this person. I don't know if I'm gonna still be in my feelings about it. But I know that oftentimes we make a lot of mistakes when we react off emotion. And I don't want to be a person that react off emotion. So that's why I'm just taking the time out and saying, let me sleep over it. Because obviously sometimes cooler heads prevail when you have time to think about it. And so if this person is listening, they know who they are. But I have been responsible today and not sharing as less as possible about their business, who it is, about what the product is, because I don't need you guys to figure out what it is that I've ordered. But I am pissed off about it, and I am mad, and I do feel like I was done wrong. And so that's why I named it. It's hard to do business with our people. So anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest, and I'm just so pissed off about it. I just wanted to talk about it and vent. So thank you guys for allowing me to vent this Friday afternoon. Terrible situation. And I'm so pissed off and in my feelings. But I do know that there's a responsibility to do right with this platform. And so I'm going to sleep on it, right? And I'm going to try. I hope that when I sleep on it and wake up the next day, that I feel better about it. I got so bothered by it. And even when I'm really mad, my loved ones always say that even when I'm mad, I'm never screaming. I'm upset. I'm fiery mad about it right now. But I'm still trying to talk in a great monotone and be fair to their businesses, because I could get on here and air their ass out, right? I could do that. But that's not responsible. And that's definitely not what you should do when you have a bad experience. I've told them about it, but I'm just venting. And so thank you guys for listening to me for the last 24 minutes to allow me to vent. And I don't know, I'll keep you posted of how this ends for me, and maybe I'll talk about it this Sunday, right? I mean, when I come on this Sunday on the podcast with my whole crew, I'll probably tell you how it ended. I'll put a mental note that all of the people that are following us, that I talk about how it ended. Again, thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of my story time. Thank you for allowing me to live in front of the camera and live, and talk about my experience. That's exactly what Friday is about. I don't always get things right. I try to do right. I try to do right business. And I was so frustrated because I felt like I'd been messed around and I've been not done business right. Anyway, I'm going to get off here. I think I've vented enough. I will share with you on Sunday how this turns out, because I do plan on sleeping on it and revisiting this. Otherwise, I do need to end by telling you that UTB again is looking for a female co-host. I'm not going to go through it all. If you're interested, send an email, utbpodcastlr@gmail.com. If you are a female that has a great mouthpiece on them and would love to join one of Arkansas's dope leading podcasts, send that email, okay? I'm going to get off here, and I will see you on this Sunday at 7 o'clock. We're going to exchange gifts. We pull names, and the whole crew will exchange your Christmas gift, because Tristan is going to be out of town the following Sunday. So we're going to do it this Sunday. So see you Sunday. All right. All right. Different bad time, but the same bad channel. Good night, y'all.
Had another rough conversation with the voices in your head.